This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. It is November 12th, 2022. We're performing a video sewer inspection through the 4-inch ABS plastic cleanout at the left front corner of the house. And it's pretty much right up against the brick area. And it has a black gym cap on the top, as you can see, like that. And we are located at 18932 Superior Street, Northridge, California, 91324. And this is the front of the house, heading out toward the street. And that's the side gate that's on the left-hand side of the property, on the left-hand side of the house as you're facing the house. And this is going back toward the front door. We're going to zero out our camera monitor right at the opening of the ABS plastic mainline cleanout so we get a good accurate reading. And we're going to begin running our camera through the line. It looks like we got a little bit of something on the camera lens. We're going to pull the camera out for a minute and just wipe the camera lens down real quick. Okay, wipe the camera lens down again. We may end up needing to run some water. It all depends. There's some buildup and debris at the bottom of the cleanout area. We may end up getting more on the camera lens. As I said, we probably get a little bit more on the camera lens. We're going to end up running some water right now just to flush the line, clean the camera lens off, and then we'll begin running out to the street. It looks like we've transitioned right away to vitreous clay. We have an ABS plastic clean out, but from what I can see, we transition right away.
Got water.
Pardon?
Got water.
It's going to take a moment for us to get the water coming through, and we can rinse that camera lens off. Then we can get a good clear picture. We're going to pause for one moment. Okay, we've got a good clear picture now, and we're right at the bottom of the clean out area. And we are in vitreous clay, and we're going to begin running out toward the city sewer. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. Going to continue to run in. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. And so does that joint. Got a little debris on the top of the pipe. It's kind of making it shiny. Another joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. All the piping looks to be in decent condition as well. Another joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. And there's another vitreous clay joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Tiny little gap, but nothing to be concerned about. That's very common in vitreous clay. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. We're running out toward the city sewer, and that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. Another joint there appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. So far for vitreous clay piping, looks to be decent. Another joint there appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Another joint. That one as well appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Got a little bit of debris on the camera lens again. Try to rinse that off a little bit. Okay. A little bit of root intrusion here in this joint, and got a little bit of a gap, and some of the neoprene band is showing here. It's not terrible, and that can be maintained with a chemical called Rudex. Very, very minor roots in that joint. Making a turn, get a little bit of an offset in this joint, a little bit of a separation. We're going to pause and we're going to locate this area. We've located this area in the front grass area at approximately 6 foot 2 inches deep. This area has a substantial shift in the pipe. It's a fairly large offset. Right now, I don't believe it's going to cause a major problem, but in the future, if this continues to shift, then it will cause stoppages. And we've also got a little separation in the pipe as well. And we have a large pine tree out in that area, so it could be the roots pushing up against the pine tree and causing it to shift. We're going to continue running out now. And now we're starting to make a drop. We're dropping down a little bit. We got a little bit of an offset in the next joint as well, and a little tiny bit of root intrusion. Not major, and that can also be maintained with a chemical called Root-X, R-O-O-T-X, being flushed down the toilet maybe yearly. Next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. As I said, the other joint we do have a fairly substantial offset, and that may have to be excavated and repaired or replaced in the future. We get a little more root intrusion in this joint on both sides at about the 3 o'clock area and the 9 o'clock area on the camera monitor. So it is on both sides. It's a little bit thicker, but not to a point that can't be maintained at this time. We get too many root intrusions, then you start ending up with a lot of problems. We got a fairly substantial offset here and quite a bit of root intrusion again in this joint. And we're going to pause one more time. We're going to locate this area. Okay, we've located this area. We are approximately 6 foot 9 inches deep, and we are at the curb area. And that's the joint. We've got quite a bit of root intrusion coming in. And we're going to begin running out again. We've got quite a bit of roots running down the line from that joint. Then we have another fairly large root intrusion. That's taking up approximately 60% of the pipe. So right here we're going out into the street. We just passed the curb. We're going out into the street. More root intrusion. They're not real thick at this point, but then there's another root intrusion. So we have quite a bit of shifting and quite a bit of root intrusion now. That's in the street. We continue to push in. With as many root intrusions as we have now in the vitreous clay, it probably would be good to put a CIPP, cured in place piping sewer liner, in the vitreous clay from the property line out to the city sewer. We're making a turn now. Should be going into the city sewer here momentarily. But we do have an offset there again at this joint. We'll take a look at the saddle area. We have a little bit of root intrusion in the saddle area, and it does look like we have a break in the saddle area. See this portion right there? Uh-huh. Yeah, that's where it's starting to come apart. So we have an issue at the saddle area, and that saddle area is broken pretty badly. I'm going to pause for a moment.
And is that under the street?
Yeah. Okay, we've located this area at 8 foot 11 inches deep in the street. We're going to pause for one more moment. Okay, we've located this area in the street at 8 foot 11 inches deep. You can see at approximately the 11 o'clock area on the monitor, it was difficult to see, but it is cracked at that point and it runs down and around the pipe. And that's where that other piece is separating. Kind of hard to see all the way around, but we can see it even down to the 6 o'clock area. So that is broken and it has to be replaced. Now we're running in, and that is the end of the city sewer saddle, which belongs to the homeowner. It's their responsibility, and now we're in the city sewer at that point. Okay, we're going to begin pulling back now, and we'll take another good look at the piping. We looked at all the joints, but the saddle area is broken to a point that it can't be repaired, should be replaced. If you repaired that with a top hat liner, the likelihood that that would hold is not good. It's maybe a 15% chance and wouldn't hold for a long period of time. There's another offset because of the shift in that saddle and the break in the saddle. That next joint is shifted. So now we're making a turn, coming back. That next joint didn't look to be in too bad a condition from what I can see. There is something at about the 9 o'clock area, and we're going to blow that area up just to see if it's another hairline crack. It'll be easier to see on our laptop in the office. Going to continue to pull back. Now we're coming back, and we have roots in this joint, and a considerable amount of roots, all the way from about the 7 o'clock area all the way around to the 5 o'clock area. Continuing to pull back. Next joint, we have a considerable amount of roots. Same thing from about the 5 o'clock area to about the 7, 8 o'clock area. And that's a substantial amount of roots. Probably restricted by maybe 60%, maybe 70%. You've only got about 30% opening on that pipe. Coming back, we have more roots along the pipe. And this is in the lateral. And quite a bit of roots there as well. All the way from maybe the 11 o'clock area all the way around to the 10 o'clock area. Might be a little tiny gap in there that doesn't have roots. Pulling back, we have more roots. 9 o'clock area and 5 o'clock area to about the 1 o'clock area. So there's a considerable amount of roots in the lateral. And there is a large pine tree there. I would not recommend a CIPP cured in place piping sewer liner. I would recommend pulling a new trenchless sewer pipe and replace that saddle fitting. Going to continue to pull back. A little bit of roots in that section. An offset here. We're coming back up onto the property. The property sewer line didn't appear to be in terrible condition. Most of all the joints appear to be lined up pretty well and really didn't have much root intrusion, if any. All of these joints appear to be in fair and maintainable condition coming back toward the house. It cuts across the driveway and then goes across the front grass area. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. All of the joints that I could see in the property sewer line, from the clean out to the sidewalk area, appeared to be in fair and maintainable condition. So we're just going to continue to pull back, coming back toward our mainline sewer clean out. There's an inlet here off to the side. Got some water coming in. Continue pulling back. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm just going to push out to that inlet. We're going to pause right here.
Where'd that glove on that one?
Okay. We have an inlet, more than likely from the powder room, the kitchen, and the laundry coming from that side of the house. The only way we could end up inspecting this is by pulling the toilet more than likely. We can't go through a roof vent because it's tiled roof vent. And it will get expensive doing that. And we don't see that many issues. We don't see any issues on the property sewer line. So we're going to continue to pull back. And the buyers do not want to pull the toilet and have us run through there. We're going to conclude our video sewer inspection. Thank you.